Why, hello there. So this is going to be a review for a brush by SonicBlend by Michael Todd Beauty. They were kind enough to reach out and ask me via email if I would be willing to try this product for you guys and give an honest review, which of course I always love to do. I think it's really important for people to have actual honest reviews out there that are not paid for, and this is the world's first antimicrobial sonic makeup brush. And what this does is it has a rechargeable handle, which is this right here, and this comes in several different colors. I think it was pink, blue, and black, and I appreciated that they sent me the black one. Thank you so much. You know I'm very goth. And what this does is you charge the handle when you first get it for 3 hours, which obviously is what you need to do so it will work, and then you attach this lovely little brush top to the end of it, and when you turn it on, there's a power button. Little green light lights up, and I don't know if you can see, it's vibrating very, very quickly. And from what I've read in the manual, it rotates at a speed of 200 times per second, and it has 3 different speeds, low, medium, and high. So if that's too fast for you, you can slow it down. And I am very excited to try this on my face. I have nothing on my face whatsoever. I'm just gonna put some foundation on this brush and give it a whirl. And the instructions say specifically do not put the foundation when the brush is on, which makes sense because it would probably throw it everywhere because it goes so fast. So I'm gonna put a little bit of my L'Oreal True Match foundation on the back of my hand, then dip the brush into my hand, and then put it on my face. So I've zoomed you guys in a little closer. And what I'm gonna do is I have my foundation on my hand. I'm just gonna dip this in a little bit so it gets on the brush. As you can see, it is on the brush, not very evenly, but I'm gonna try to fix that. Now it's a little better. So I'm going to turn this bad boy on and see if I get that flawless airbrushed finish. Okay, so far, I'm just gonna do this half of my face to show you guys. I like how it's going on my skin. It's going on pretty evenly here, but there are some spots here that I don't know if you can see, but it looks a little patchy where the foundation is not quite blended. It just looks like it's kind of still smeared on. So hopefully when I go in with this again, that'll fix that. We'll see. I'm gonna dip back into my foundation on the brush, and I'm gonna try my forehead. And I'm trying to buff out that area that was giving me a little trouble around my eyes. And it looks like that did the trick. If you go over it again with less product and a drier brush, it definitely goes a lot smoother on your skin. I don't know if you guys can see the difference. There is a definite line here in the middle of my forehead. This is where the foundation is. This is where it is not. And it looks pretty good so far. I'm impressed. There's no real patchiness. My skin doesn't look cakey. It just looks very light and, and airbrushed. And it also feels really nice, both when it's vibrating on my face and my skin in general. So I'm a fan so far. I'm liking this. Now because I'm me and I like a much more heavy coverage, this is a nice light finish. And it also says that you use less makeup when you use this brush instead of, Beauty Blender or other traditional brushes. I'm not necessarily finding that to be true so far, but I put another dab of foundation on the brush and I'm gonna go over it again and see how much extra coverage that gives me. Okay, so that second pass definitely gave me a lot more coverage. As you can see, there's a very big difference between the side of my face with foundation and the side without it. I'm pretty impressed. I really like how it gives me more of a natural finish, and it doesn't look cakey anywhere. It doesn't really look like it's settling into fine lines. There is a little bit of cakiness around my nose, but that's just a problem area personally for me. My skin always tends to do that, even with a beauty blender or other traditional brushes. And I really like how it doesn't look super caked on, even though I did go over it twice. I like it. I think it did a great job, so good job, little sonic brush. Now, just to make this a little more interesting, I'm going to try something else with this brush. I'm going to try something that will give you a much better idea whether or not it gives you really flawless coverage. I'm going to put some face paint on this brush and put it on the other half of my face, and I'm going to make it bright green. so you can really see whether or not this is working. And to clean my brush, I'm just going to be using my favorite Cinema Secrets brush cleaner. Now be sure when you're cleaning this to only dip the brush tip into anything wet, because it advises not to put the brush handle in anything wet, any liquid, any water, nothing, because it is rechargeable, electronic. You don't want to burn yourself, you don't want anything to happen to the handle, so if it makes it easier for you to remember that, take off the little brush head and then just put this somewhere where there is no water whatsoever. So I just dip that into the brush cleaner, putting the brush handle far, far away, and I'm just gonna put it on a paper towel, get all that foundation out of there. And as you can see, there was quite a bit of foundation left in the brush because this is a more densely packed brush, so keep that in mind as well. I find this brush doesn't really blend concealer very well under the eyes, at least for me, and it does retail for $99. But I do have a discount code for you guys. It's up to you if you want to use it because it is an affiliate code. And that means that if you do buy it and then use my code for a discount, I will make some money off of the sale. But if you're not comfortable with that, that's fine. If you do want to use the code, I will put it down in the description box, and I really appreciate it because it would be, kind of supporting me in a way. So thank you guys so much. Now, as you can see, I have dipped this in my water activated face paint from Wolf. And I'm going to now try it on my face. Wow, I am actually really impressed by how evenly this put the face paint on my face. Because especially with lighter colors, it's harder to get a really nice even coverage. And this did a really great job. Normally I use sponges or a really thick brush, but look at how even that green is. It's pretty impressive. And all I did was this was one dip into the water activated face paint, and it did all of this, which is pretty impressive, not gonna lie. My only thing that I'd noticed where it's a little patchy is up here on my forehead. See that area right there? I'm not sure if that's because of my skin or not, but everywhere else, down here it looks great. My whole cheek looks fantastic. Even on my nose looks really nice and even, especially on my mouth as well, on my chin. So if you are looking for a really great way to blend face paint, then I'd highly recommend this. Out of curiosity, I'm going to let this first layer dry, and then I'm going to go in again just to see how much a second layer will do for coverage. So I noticed with the second application there were quite a few patchy spots. Again, I'm not sure because if that's just my skin or if it's the brush, because I do have several spots where makeup doesn't really like to stay on my face. One of which is here on my cheek, the other is my nose. And apparently the spot on my forehead didn't get any better. I don't know if it's because when you put on water activated face paint, when you layer it on top of each other, sometimes that does tend to happen. But I really love how it still gave me a really nice even green finish. So my cheek looks great, the side of my face looks great. My nose is a little patchy, but again, that's because my nose is never really taken kindly to having makeup put on it. So taking that into consideration, I think this brush did a really great job. I do wish it had helped fix this spot on my forehead a little bit better, but since it isn't really meant for doing face paint, I just figured I'd try it to show you guys what the application would look like. I think it did a fantastic job with the foundation side of my face and a really good job with the water activated face paint. So all in all, I would probably give this brush an 8 or 9 out of 10 because it really does do what it says it does. It gives you a really flawless airbrushed finish and it feels really good on your face too. I really like the whole vibrating brush thing. It feels like I'm giving my face a massage. So thank you again so much to Michael Todd Beauty for sending this to me to try out. I really like it. I will definitely be using this in my face paints for Halloween coming up and in my foundation routine as well. I'm going to try this again with several different foundations just to see what it's like. And if you guys have any questions about it, feel free to leave questions in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer them. And if you want to check out, where to buy this brush, I'll leave a link down in the description box. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!